This is No Face Bigfoot, and welcome to my the unauthorized Atari 2600 Throw Back Zine issues 35, 36, and 37 quick review. And as you can tell by the metallic blue Atari 2600 joystick, this issue is about Tron. And in this issue right here, it talks about the adventure of Tron and Tron Deadly Disc. And this is the table of contents. And the author of these magazines here are throwback zines, Michael Salzman, talks about his childhood and everything, or different stories that deals with the game that he's focusing on for a specific issue. Now, in this issue, of course, the collector's card for the month is The Adventures of Tron. And to be honest with you, it is an M Network game, aka Mattel. I never really played it. I played Tron Deadly Disc. Of course, he talks about his childhood and I guess about the movie or whatever. So, anyway, this is what The Adventures of Tron title screen looks like. Man, check out just how bold the colors are. That's how they were in the Atari 2600. They would just blind you almost. And they would have different color things, like when the game was over, like the games would change different colors because so the screen wouldn't burn into the screen of your TV. And then that's what it looked like right there. Okay. Now, Tron Deadly Disc was the one I played a lot of. And it looks completely different from the arcade. Now, in the arcade, it was actually normally a sit-down cabinet. And on the screen, it was three-dimensional, basically. You had discs that it looked like microwave tops almost, or microwave oven tops that you would jump across. And you had discs that you would shoot. So it'd be one of you, and then you had to go against the computer. As you went along, you would go up to 2 or 3 opponents. You'd have 2 or 3 different things. Like there are points where like it would block like certain sections where you couldn't, throw your disc or whatever. And you could throw it off the walls like racquetball, so you can catch somebody from behind or you could get caught from behind. So it was really crazy. Real crazy game. So they had one up at the arcade at Fort Meade, up in Maryland at the military base. And then this is what the game looked like right here. So it's a pretty cool game. All right. And now this talks about game strategy on Space Invaders. Now he talked about it in a previous issue. And there's so many different game versions to this. It's just like incredible. And of course, Space Invaders, you only have to get 1,500 on this. And the trick on the old Atari 2600s before they came out with the new ones, you go do what's called firing the power switch. Go like this, and you could fire 2 bullets at once instead of 1. It's kind of crazy. All right, and of course, when they get down to the bottom of the screen, it's game over. So, yeah, it's got some good strategy here. Talks about the McDonald's Atari promotion. I don't remember that too much. But, there we go. Oh, there's a missile command, just like a Monopoly game. There you go. Use your coin to rub off everything. So that was kind of neat. Okay. And, LCD Activision games. Huh, just like Tiger games. Kaboom, Grand Prix, Tennis, and Barnstormer. Check that out. I never knew that existed. So I learn something new every day. All right. And it talks about Freeway, a very cheap version or knockoff of Frogger. Whole version is you answer the question, why did the chicken cross the road? To get to the other side. There we go. If you think that's an attempt by humor by me, please don't tell me that you're smoking funny cigarettes or you're freebasing Clarissa, because that is the punchline of the joke. That is the oldest joke in the book, other than your mama wears combat boots. All right, and COVID era tips from a Patreon backer. Okay, there we go. All right. So that's pretty much it for this issue. And next one we'll have Circus Convoy Woo! Yes. I believe, let's see. Oh, Amidar and skiing. There we go. All right. So that's that issue. Now let's talk about the newest David Crane game that came out earlier this year, as featured on RKUSA YouTube channel. This is the guy who did work for Activision, one of them, one of the masterminds behind the first third-party publisher in video game history. Yes, this is a new Atari 2600 game in an era where we're making PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X games. Yeah! But it's crazy. Alright, and here is the table of contents for this issue. And again, David Crane was one of the masterminds behind Activision. Alright. And then there's a walk to end Alzheimer's ad here. Not an ad, but Chris the Atari Creep. I forgot all about this. Yeah, Alzheimer's is like when you forget when you get older. You don't even know who you are. It's kind of sad. You never want that to happen on anyone. Alright, this month's collector's edition or card is Tron Deadly Disc. Alright, so there we go. And sorry my brain's not working right now. I'm just kind of like, I'm tired right now. Alright, there we go. Circus Convoy. This game came out earlier this year by David Crane. So it's kind of like I won't say Metroidvania, but I watched it. RKUSA. Dude that does the channel is not very good at video games, but he brings back a lot of the old stuff. And I think it was also featured on the No Swear Gamer channel. So, yeah, this is a new game. Alright. And there's another picture of it. Okay. And somehow Boy and His Blob, which actually was re-released on the PlayStation 4, I believe. Yeah, it is, because I got it on my PlayStation. So, I did not know he designed A Boy and His Blob. So you learn something new every day. Alright. So, here's more about Circus Convoy. Again, it's a new game. So, can you imagine making games for the Atari 2600? Alright. And I wonder what this has to do with Bart versus the Space Mutants. There we go. So I'll have to read that to figure it out, don't I? Alright, or you'll just have to order this yourself. Okay. So that's it. Alright, next up is Amidar. And in Amidar, see the screen right there? You're a gorilla, and you have to fill in the squares. So as you go along, you highlight stuff, and it's kind of like you have put a trail behind you, and you got to fill in the squares or different shapes right there to beat the game. So I remember playing this in the arcade. I enjoyed it. I just had a bunch of chips. All right, now next up, the Atari 2600 Challenge Skiing. Beat Game 3 in 28.2 seconds or less. Don't think I ever did that. All right, 28.2 seconds of hell. All right, and this shows you kind of how to do it. Okay, again, I don't know anything about this stuff because I was never good at this game. I mean, I had it, but I never really did anything. And then there's a preview of Moonpatrol. It's one of the most incredible side scrollers of the early 1980s. Just the scrolling in there was incredible because they had like several layers of it. It just blew my mind when I first saw the game. All right, up next, Dodge 'em. This was one of my favorite Pac Man clones. And basically, all you did was just you go around the screen, make sure you don't crash, and get all the dots. That's it. I mean, you would get, after a couple screens, you would get 2 cars on there. So it was a fairly difficult game. But once you got the pattern down, it was actually quite simple. All right, and then Season 2 review of the 2600 Club. All right, pole positioning, Galaxian. I love pole position. One of my favorite games. Miss Pac Man, Venture, which is not a good conversion. Burger Time, okay conversion of the game. Defender, you know. Video Pinball, Millipede, Tutankhamun. So it's pretty cool. And Mario Brothers, which actually was a pretty good game in the arcade, and actually pretty good conversion of it. And then Space Invaders, and finally Amidar. There we go. All right. Don't be a space invader. Be a smart collector. I like the idea. So if you're collecting video games, make sure what you purchase. Don't buy something that's expensive and that's worth anything or doesn't work. All right. And the challenge here, Grand Prix. And challenge winner 4, 35 seconds less than game 1. This was a side-scroll game where you race your car and you just get fast as possible. So, all right, here's the video game challenge summary. All right, so that's for that issue. I'm running over here. This is longer than the last episode of, or the last video I recorded of this. And finally, the Moonpatrol tournament. Now, I have a video of this where I downloaded it from my PlayStation, and my friend actually played it. So eventually, we're actually going to have that up with commentary. So once I get everything straight, we're actually going to have commentary while we play the game. So I think it's like a 15-minute video. So it's good to talk about old times and actually show you what the games look like. All right, here's the table of contents. Again, so this month's card is Adventure. Again, one of the first adventure games ever. And the first game, I believe, to actually have a real end on the 2600. All right, now we're talking about the Moonpatrol tournament. All right. And the object of this game is to get as far as possible. You have checkpoints you have to get to. You get points based on how fast you complete it. If you don't complete it in time, then of course you don't die anything from it. You just don't get bonus points. You have to shoot down UFOs, shoot rocks, watch out for mines. I mean, it's all kind of crazy stuff. So the scores for this had to be in by June 4th. So for me, I wouldn't have it in. Now this episode, I want to say episode, issue talks about airlock. So I know nothing about this game. So this is what it looked like. And again, I have no clue. I never played it. Not even on an emulator. Okay. Now, I might, if I'm able down in the future, I might do a game of it. And then this talks about how to stream your Atari 2600 games with real hardware. So, it's kind of crazy, but you can do it. Okay, I got friends that do this, like Austin in Northern Virginia. He does a lot of Doom, Quake, and that kind of stuff, and just all kinds of platformers and just all kinds of games, which is pretty cool. All right, here's the strategy for dodge 'em. I talked a little bit about this a few minutes ago. Again, basically, it's Pac Man with cars. And you just have to be really quick with your reflexes, and you have to think ahead of time. That's about it. And after a while, you have to face 2 cars. This is what the arcade edition looks like. So actually, the home version, I always thought, now the screen didn't look better, but it had better colors to it. There we go. All right, so here we go. And again, framing Atari manuals. This talks about what they look like. Video chess, which was in the last video. So, pretty cool. All right. And then it shows you about the cover for Pong Sports. There we go. I believe it's how to replace them, too. Yeah. Or is this framing them? Yeah, this is framing them. That looks pretty cool. All right. And now, Turbo. this came out before Pole Position. And I remember this was one of the first games where it actually recorded your high scores. And on the machine itself, it would give you the top 5 scores. You had a low and high gear shift. It was very twitchy and very difficult to play. But once you played it and got used to it, it wasn't too bad of a game. So, and after you ran out of so much time, you got so many lives, if I remember correctly. So, because I played it up in decades up in Charlottesville. But, you know, when time ran out, I crashed pretty soon, and that was about it. So I was crashing every 5 seconds, like literally. And then this is what it looks like on the Atari 2600. Yes, that looks real good for an Atari 2600 game. I mean, that's top-of-the-line graphics. That's like Ghost of Tsushima is the PS4. I know that's a bad comparison, but that's close as you're going to get, because if you know how beautiful Ghost of Tsushima is, that's what this game is compared to 2600. I mean, Atari 2600 was like the ugliest games ever almost on a console. Believe me. Alright, Activision Challenge. Number 10, the Grand Prix. There we go. So, alright. And the next issue, hopefully I'll be able to order it soon. Spy Hunter. Ding 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 ding. And it basically borrows from a James Bond theme, as you can tell. So, in Super Breakout, there's the preview. It was easy for me to get 200 points on Mode 7. Alright. And Activision Challenge. Laser Blast. 100,000? I think I got 100,000 once. It wasn't, and I couldn't get it. One, because the game was hard. It was boring. It's probably the worst. It's actually a very competent game, but it's just nothing to it. All you're doing is a UFO shooting a few targets on every screen. That's it. So, I mean, alright. Club Season 3 for the Atari 2600. Some interesting games in there. MASH. Astro Blast is one of my favorite. Yars Revenge. Of course, Phoenix on there. It's one of my favorite. That came out in 1980 in Moonpatrol. I know nothing about Kumite. It's a secret game. I know nothing about it. Alright, and there's your recent champions and high score summary. Alright, so that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. In the future, you know, I like to be able to play these games and stream them, so I got plenty of stuff. So once I get everything set up, that won't be an issue. Oh yeah, and I got this, my ski cap on. I don't know why they call it a beanie. A beanie doesn't have a brim like this. It's a ski cap. Got this on because my hair is all messed up. So, and as you can tell, the sun's going down here. So thanks for watching the video. I know it's extra long, but if you stayed the whole time, thanks. Slap that thumbs up button. Slap that subscribe button. I'm out. Peace.